Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we mail it in for Halloween.
Hello, Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Woo!
Scary.
My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Cailee Baker, Jim Bosnott, and Katie Joyce.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey, everybody.
What up?
Oh, McNew,
Halloween.
This is McNew's big day. So, yes, Halloween.
This is my Christmas. This is my...
Your Super Bowl.
I love Halloween, yes.
Because you're so goth. You and your Brooks and Dunn concert.
Yes. Goth, Brooks and Dunn.
No, okay. So, like, I grew up with a weird mom, right? Like, I love my mom, but, like, I had a weird mom. And, like, we did Halloween big. Like, we had, like, the pumpkins and the windows. We had the lights. Like, nobody else in town did that shit when we were doing that shit. So, no, I'm like, my house is decorated top to bottom, the yard. Everything is all out Halloween from September to really November 1st.
Did you get that $300 skeleton that's bigger than your house?
No, because my home is out of it, but I very much want it. I've been stalking their website.
Okay.
I trying to get him.
I saw it on their website. That thing's huge. I mean, it's
He is 12 feet. He is a 12-foot skeleton, and I very much need him. But he has been sold out the last 2 years that I've tried to get him.
You loved me as a kid because we when I was between 14 and 16, we built a haunted house in our basement for Halloween but we didn't have the rules they have in haunted houses. Like, we would touch people. Like, we'd grab you. And like the first year we did it, we probably had 30 or 40 people come through. Mm-hmm. By the third year we did it, the line was 100 people deep to get into my basement. And my mom was so pissed off when I was finally 17 and I'm going off to Halloween parties that me and my friends didn't host this in our basement. But
okay, so I love this, but like, I am not into like haunted houses and jump scares. Like, I will not pay to go to a haunted house. I'm like,
really?
Why am I paying you $40 to like piss me off today? Like, that is not my vibe. But like, I love some spooky things. Like, I will pay to go to a graveyard, or I will just go to a graveyard and be weird. Like, I love some weird things, but I do not love the commercial haunted houses, to be honest.
I do like haunted corn mazes.
Corn mazes, like, fun. I do love some corn mazes. Like, a scarecrow can jump out and tell me to fuck off. I like that. But like the haunted houses, I am not here for.
We have a great one by my house where they have the hayride, but they have paintball guns set up on both sides, and it's a haunted hayride, and as everybody jumps out at you, you get to shoot the goblins or the zombies or whatever else.
That actually sounds so fun. I would absolutely
totally do that.
If I could kill the person trying to haunt me or whatever, much better than going through a haunted house.
Yeah, I'm not into the like commercial haunted houses at all, but everything else Halloween, I absolutely love.
In fact, I think the last haunted house I went to was a like a Nerf, or not a Nerf, but like a airsoft. Yeah, it was an airsoft haunted house in Nashville, and it was like 5 years ago. But you go around and like zombies would like come out at you, and you got to shoot them with your gun, and like it was an airsoft gun. So
I would do that.
It felt pretty good.
The one we go to that with the paintball, you knew that the guys were having bets because some of the guys would be fully padded, but occasionally a guy would come out like in shorts and a t-shirt just to be ballsy and see what he could take. He'd run across the field. You got 10 people just throwing 100 rounds of paintballs at him, trying to hit him.
Oh,
he'd get hit.
That doesn't sound fun. Yeah, that involves some liquid courage, I would have to guess.
I agree.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that haunted house where, it's not really a haunted house, but that's kind of what it's lumped in with, where you sign all these lawyer waivers.
Oh my God, that thing is like a whole
and you get $50,000 if you go through the whole thing.
Fucking nightmare. Like I'm like, if that's your,
but they waterboard you and all kinds of stuff, and
Oh fuck no. No.
Not about that life.
So I'm not mad at this house because they donate like a lot of proceeds to like an animal shelter. So I'm like, yeah, save those baby dogs. But like they fucking torture some people. It's a weird thing that they have going on.
Yeah.
It's in Tennessee, I think.
I think it's in Nashville.
You're into like the haunted house type, like the real haunted houses?
Yeah, no, so I will like absolutely go see some real ghosts, but like I don't want some actor jumping out at me.
No, so next time you're in St. Louis, there's the Limp Mansion, which is like right as one of the top haunted houses in the country. There's
so Indiana has the Whispers Mansion, and I haven't stayed there, but I'm trying to get my cousin to go with me. So like we might.
Oh, you have no Limp though. Limp's been on a lot of shows and stuff like that. Check it out on YouTube. Limp Mansion.
And you can stay in the room there one night, and they lock you in by leave you alone all night.
So
it sounds like my personal hell.
Right. Like I have such an active imagination to begin with. Like I really can't handle much of like the scary stuff at all. Like I can't even watch scary movies.
Nope,
can't do it. Like Hocus Pocus is my limit.
I have to be like
Beetlejuice though. You like some Beetlejuice?
No, like I fucking hated Beetlejuice as a kid. My brother my little brother loved Beetlejuice, and I would hide the VHS so he couldn't watch it because it scared the shit out of me.
E.T. scared me. Like if I watch a scary movie nowadays, I have to have my elbow over both my eyes and like ducked into my husband's chest to watch a movie. Like I can't do it.
I need Gary to show it on Halloween on a wood hat and have a
out in the cornfield.
So I get like a little creative sometimes. So like I like taking like doll houses and making them like spooky. I know I have a filter on, so it probably looks weird, but like this is like a dollhouse. It was like all pink and purple, and I like making them spooky for my Halloween decor.
That's really cool.
So I do that.
It blurs out.
And this is
like change your background.
Yeah, just take off the blur. We won't judge you for your background.
It's literally not like the.
Oh, there you go. That fixed it.
Yeah, turn off your video entirely. That helps.
Turn it all. Yeah, there we go. Okay, hold on.
It's still blurry.
There we go.
There you go.
Like purple and pink.
Looks like Barbie jail.
Time on that.
I do spend a lot of time on it, but like this one.
Well, when you call off work 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Do you have your pro handy?
Call it sick to work. This is what you do.
I'm just like, fuck this job.
I really hope you don't encourage your employees to watch this podcast.
Yeah. I hope they're not.
Listen
my employers are like, what are your hobbies? I'm like, not podcasting.
Not drinking bourbon.
Nothing with bourbon or podcasting. Don't worry about it.
She's like, I'm not McNew. That's someone else.
Yeah.
I'm Stephanie. I've never
Stephanie.
heard of this McNew.
Yeah. Who's McNew? Who's McNew? I'm Stephanie Burton. Who's McNew?
Yes.
All right. Jim, you said there's something you want to talk about. We didn't even talk about that. What do you got?
Just on the same thing, like, what's the best Halloween? Do you dress up for Halloween? And what's the best costume you've done?
I don't dress up for Halloween. I mean, I wear a costume every day. If you think about it, I wear a Hawaiian shirt and goggles and a hat. I feel like that's enough. So no, I don't dress up. Last time I probably when I first got married, there was a couple. I was like 24. Probably had a couple costume parties around that era, and so that's been a long time. About that's like 30 years ago. So I was the Invisible Man in all those. So all I did was put gauze around my face, a hat, and a shirt with gloves, and that's an Invisible Man. There's sunglasses, and so I just mailed it in, just like we're mailing in the show. I mailed in my Halloween costume. Yeah, and I won best costume one time with that. This is like the world's worst thing. I had to laugh at that because it was terrible. Yeah, McNew, you're so into Halloween. I assume you dress up and you've talked about your costumes.
We do, and our neighbors have like a fantastic Halloween party, which my husband likes to do couples costumes. I really don't give a shit if we do.
Yours was terrible last year. What was yours last year?
So he was Beetlejuice and I was Miss Argentina, if you know the movie.
I don't think that was last year. That was 2 years ago.
I don't remember.
Last year was bad. What was
last year? I don't remember.
You weren't Beck and Royce, that's for sure. With
no, they killed it last year.
They killed it Halloween last year.
They did the Yellowstone thing. I don't remember what we were there.
They killed it.
Anyways, but
you were the doctor. You were the
oh yeah, I was the plague doctor.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
I look good. I love that plague doctor outfit.
No, I hated it. That was the worst one so far.
Why was that bad? It was good.
I gave it an F.
I had like the little tights. I had the mat. It was a good outfit. I was a plague
yes,
doctor.
you and George Rose had the same Halloween costume. So there you go. And George did it better. I got to be honest. He was a better plague doctor.
Have you guys seen the murder robe? The robe women wear when their husband dies unexpectedly. Like it's flowy and it's got
what is this? The murder robe?
It's the murder robe. This is the widow robe. I'm gonna have that. And then we're gonna like epoxy like a knife into his chest, and he's gonna be like the dead husband. I'm gonna be like the rich widow. That's gonna be our costumes.
I feel like he should be naked because he's a body in a morgue, so he should be nude.
No, nobody asked for that.
Not even McNew wants to see that.
No one asked for that. But no, so I'm gonna get like that rich widow robe. Everybody knows what it is. Just Google it. But I'm wearing the robe. I'm going to look all fancy, have like a champagne glass, maybe some blood stains, and he's going to look like he's stabbed to death. And
okay. It's got to be better than last year. Like I said, George Rose clearly beat you last year. George Rose was way better. His was better. You have to admit his was better.
I feel like I was probably hotter than him.
Well, probably. I mean, it's George Rose. I mean, he's nothing to look at.
People are here for it. People like those photos.
All right. So, of course, they're still talking about your 4th of July photo 2 years ago. We had a beloved person from the network, get kicked off of the network. He said his wife wouldn't allow him to be on the network anymore because this is what happens. And yeah, it was McNew.
I am not responsible for her insecurity.
4th of July. Yeah, that ruined it. He was a good guy too. But yeah. Katie, do you dress up for Halloween? And if so, what would be an example of a costume or your best one?
I'm definitely a big fan of Halloween.
Okay.
And so actually one of my favorites is from childhood. So I very much look like my dad. I don't look like my mom at all. And so when I was a kid growing up, my mom she was very much into Halloween, and she would dress us the same in hopes that it would make us look alike. And so my favorite one was we both dressed as the evil queen from Snow White. In our identical costumes, and we still did not look alike. And so like I still could have been like dressed as the evil queen of Snow White and stood next to my dad who wasn't dressed up, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's his child.
Right.
How was that not a great costume, Steve? How is that not?
Pull up George Rose's.
You're pouring it out, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Your filter's blurring it out. So
blurring it out.
All we're seeing is a blur.
That's a great blur.
That's a great blur.
Let me fix it.
See, we can see like a wall behind you, and that's it. I don't know why you're blurring it out to begin with.
I don't
what
know.
are you blurring out? Yeah.
Because my room's a mess. I asked Chris to hang this thing like 2 months ago and he didn't do it. But look, that's a fucking great costume. That's a fucking hot plague doctor. You could save me from like any day.
I see a
Why
lot
would
of
you want to wear a full mask like that? That's...
I did, but it did not have a bottom, so I could still drink. It was perfect.
Oh gosh.
It's a great mask.
All right. So Katie was
also
dressed up with her mom. Okay.
Also, I like this meme that said, being an old-timey doctor would rule, like, just drunk as hell, being like, yeah, you got ghosts in your blood, do some cocaine about it. And I love that meme. That was great.
All right, Cailee, she's going downhill quick, so we gotta move on with the show here. What was your best Halloween costume?
I'll give a couple examples. So last year, I'm pretty sure me and my husband, like, he was a lumberjack and just wore like a flannel shirt and was just handing out.
He mailed it in. He mailed it in.
Yeah, he mailed it in. Yeah, and I mailed it in too, because I'm pretty sure I was wearing my Casey Jones shirt that I had tie-dyed, and I'd just come home from work, and like I was a hippie.
So yeah, that's mailing it in.
Mailed it in last Halloween, but I feel like up until maybe like my college years, I really did. I like went for it every year. But then I also mailed it in once when I was like 12. Apparently I was too busy with like sports and basketball practice. And so after my basketball practice, the night of Halloween, I wore a pair of basketball shorts and a shirt. And I put on a pair of sunglasses and held a cane, and I was a blind person. That was my mailing it in at like, I don't know, 12. So,
but if you would have walked into a house and the person was actually blind and they're like, oh, there's this little girl who's dressed up like she's blind.
I would have felt terrible. And like now looking back, I was a social worker for like 3 years.
See?
Like, so
how could you?
Now looking back, I'm like, holy crap, I was terrible back then.
That was terrible.
But,
That's definitely looking back on some of the like insensitive costumes we did. We're like,
yeah. One year, I actually remember that this is probably my best and worst costume. I dressed up as one of my least favorite teachers as a joke. And I lived in her neighborhood, and to my demise, I rang her door. And like I had like a printed tag with her like name and everything on it. And like,
did she like it? Did she feel it was flattering?
Well, yeah, she was like, oh, who are you? I was like, I'm Miss Sanders. Yeah. And she was like, why? I was like, oh, because you're my favorite teacher. And she gave me candy and I left. I specifically remember that. Being her for yeah.
Jim, you asked the question. Is there a good costume here?
So yeah, I don't dress up every year. And
when Jim goes all out on something, he goes all out. I mean, right. if he's into something.
There's a couple I can't talk about here, get me in trouble, like State Sandowski, but the year Steve Irwin died, he died in September.
Yeah.
And I dressed up as Steve Irwin, and I had a stingray pinned to my chest with blood dripping everywhere, and I got yelled at by so many people.
Really?
I'd yell at you.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
I remember crying when he died. Like, it was a huge deal for me. I would have yelled at you.
I literally a stingray pinned to my chest and a bloody shirt and everything. And it was so that's typically how I take it, and that's probably the tamest one I can tell you on air. But I've had some other ones that were
well, we're gonna after the break. Let's talk because I feel like Steve Irwin damn near is celebrity sainthood. So we're going to talk about celebrities we feel like are saints after the break. We'll get to that after the break. But for right now, though, with our Halloween discussion being done, let's talk a little bit about what everyone's drinking. We're going to start with Katie. Katie's been dominating. Of course, she's got the $1,500 microphone. So, yeah. Let's see what you got.
So I am having some off hours bourbon.
Okay.
I actually purchased this one. It was on an Instagram ad, and I just got it because they had really good marketing. But actually, I really enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah. That's decent cork pop. Could be enough to win. We'll see. Those Instagram ads, they do get you, but a lot of times you don't get the stuff. I've been ripped off more times.
From there too.
Instagram
I've been ripped off on like Indiegogo, like supporting campaigns for stuff. That's what I've been most ripped off by. But
yeah. Okay.
Stick to your local stores, people.
Yes. All right, McNew. How about you? What do you got?
I have some very old Saint Nick rye.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, I'm wearing a preservation t-shirt.
How about that?
Not a lot on
the cork pop. Yeah, Katie's got the lead.
Rye.
I'll go next. Do we think we can fit this in a glass?
Yeah.
Do it.
Maybe a rocks glass.
I don't have a rocks glass, so this is what I got.
I don't think it'll fit in there. That's
might
pretty.
Need
that's pretty
a
hefty.
pint glass, but
you
can do
like
it.
a bottle, tug, and a glass.
All right, let's see cork pop wise how I do.
Steve, I'd say it's in a glass already, so it already fits.
Oh, that's true. Just go straight from the bottle. If it doesn't fit, you can just finish the bottle.
Okay.
And for those listening at home, this is a decent amount left in a Buffalo Trace bottle.
I got Buffalo Trace. And look at that. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Woo!
That's
Just
right.
fills it.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
Got that. Am I good or what?
That's so poor.
Don't mess with me. I
Nice
know what
out
I'm
of
doing.
that right
Last
there.
show pour.
That was a great bottle kill right there.
That's a bottle kill right there. All right. So, but Katie still got the lead. So, what do you got, Kaylee?
Well, I wanted to stick with the Halloween theme. So I went with Glenn's Creek Cuervito Vivo. Means the little dead bird, the little dead crow.
Oh,
which,
nice.
if you don't know, Glenn's Creek Distilling is on the site of the old Crow Distillery. So
Jim's been there.
go.
Have you been there?
Yes, I
That
have.
What's a solid pop?
That was
Actually,
good.
this is signed for me and Clinton. I think, yeah, we had just gotten married a couple months before we went. So, yeah.
That's where we were, Steve, right? Is that
Huh?
the place that-
Old Cranky Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's one of my favorite people in this industry. I love him. Every time I go by, like he will literally like see me, and he remembers me from the very first time I went, because I was on like a revenge trip of sorts, and like we toasted to like fuck this person, like we toasted to that, and so I come back with this person, and he's like, "That's not the person you said." And I was like, no, I was like, this is my boyfriend. We're good. And so, but every time I go back, he'll give me like a personal tasting. We always chat bourbon, and he's just the most easygoing guy. And I just love Old Cranky Dave. And I'm very excited about this Cuervito Vivo. I've been waiting for it for a few years. So
Can I send you pictures of all the dead bugs in his open fermenter that we took over there?
I've definitely seen his open fermenter bug.
Oh,
That was the place that I learned that it's okay to have dead bugs in your fermenting.
You've learned that that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I learned that it's fine.
That's the last thing I want to learn. Like,
It's not the prettiest, but
and it's still like it's coming up the still, and we're like pouring it into a glass and dumping it into a barrel. It's just that was like the craziest day I've spent in Kentucky. Like,
Yes.
it's also fantastic.
I will say,
then we-
at Casey Jones, just for the record, we do use screens on top of our open top fermenters, so bugs can
you
get
have,
in them.
you have screens on them. He doesn't. Like, I have pictures of bugs dead, floating in.
Yes.
Yes.
It should not happen that much, to be honest with you. Now, one getting in there, sure, it's open top, anything can happen. A bug can get in there. But a lot of them, because it's producing CO2, again, the bugs should avoid that, because if it's a live, active fermenter and it's going, it shouldn't, the bugs should stay away. So
But as we know, it all distills out, right?
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That doesn't make you feel good about it, but
yes. Doesn't make you feel good about it, but
right.
it's all
bottles
good.
while we're there. We still drank it while we were there, but it was the craziest distiller I've ever been to by far.
Yeah, I specifically remember being like, "Oh, bugs," and he was like, "It's fine." It's like, "All right."
All right, Jim. Katie's got the lead here, so Katie still has the lead. What do you got?
My only new bottle of the night, the old Ezra 7.
Okay, nice.
I just heading Jim Beam to, and we're not doing that. And she's holding the microphone up, so I hope I win. But
there you go. That's a winner. That's the sound of victory.
Yeah,
That was good.
Yeah.
good.
Well, congratulations. Happy Halloween, Jim. May your Halloween be a little happier.
Happy
with that
Halloween.
victory. Yeah. All right. We'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we found a topic we want to talk about. Celebrities that are damn near saints. We'll get to that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward Certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Scott Pinkowski is unavailable. Would you like to? I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to say right now.
He's listening to the Bourbon Daily. It's got to be the Bourbon
Daily.
Peace.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. We should have been mailing it in for Halloween, but now we're talking about celebrities who should be saints.
Yes. Yeah, that's a Halloween, All Saints Day tomorrow. Yeah, coming up. So, yeah, Dia de la Muerta, where we celebrate the dead. But
Yes.
with our celebrities we're going to talk about, they can be alive or dead. Alive or dead.
Oh.
Who do you think is damn near a saint? I would say Bob Ross is about to that level. Damn near a saint. He's a celebrity saint. Yeah.
Can I just share a quick little weird piece about my history?
With Bob Ross?
About Bob Ross. I was in high school band my freshman and sophomore year. This is like 2008, 2009. And one of our chants during like high school football games was a Bob Ross chant. And when someone would like stand up and give like a chant to start it, and we would all go, just bear with me here. And if you want to cut this out, I totally understand. But it's BOBROSS. Bob Ross, his paintings are the best. And then everybody joins in.
I love that.
Did you incorporate happy little trees into the cheer?
Okay, no, but I do have a happy little accident at the distillery that we talk about all the time. And when I saw the Bob Ross documentary pop up on Netflix the other day, it just got me thinking about Bob Ross. So yeah, I had relived that moment of high school band with my husband not too long ago, and that's just really
Bob
cool.
Ross was very popular as he was alive, of course.
Yes.
But he's reached even greater heights in death. It's
absolutely
crazy.
So I actually watched that documentary, and I was like, "You can't shit on Bob Ross. I'm not watching this." And I watched it, and it was literally all the people around him. He's
they shit on Bob Ross.
Human being.
Yeah.
And
it makes you not ever want to buy a sticker that says Bob Ross,
because it's not the family, it's not his son that's making the money. It's people who ripped him off. Yeah. Who else from the celebrity
Dolly
world?
Parton.
Oh, Dolly, yes.
Living angel. There's not a better human world than Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
For a while there, everybody was on the course with let's tear down all of the Confederate statues in like the South and replace them with statues of Dolly Parton. I was totally down. I was absolutely down for it.
Yeah, I know. Like, so she's been like so unpolitical, but like she's become politicalized where she's just like, I love everybody. And I'm like, everybody should think and be like Dolly. Dolly's like, goddamn.
Jim and I are of a different era. Now, Dolly, I'll give you the sainthood thing. She deserves it. She does a lot of great work and stuff like that. But she had a wild time. Jim, if you remember that in the 80s, she was Yeah. She's still married to the same guy, but she was dating a lot of guys in Hollywood and stuff.
They had an open
like
relationship.
Porter Wagner, like might have been like fucking Porter when they broke up, and she wrote that big old song about him. But like Dolly's a fucking saint.
Dolly is a saint.
You know, wrong.
Yeah, it's what she does for her community too. The Dollywood and all that stuff.
She created Dollywood not for herself, but to employ people. Because that was a very low income area. So she made Dollywood to give people jobs, and
it's worked.
She is a saint of open marriages.
Yeah.
Like
the patron saint of open marriages. There you go.
Carl's probably a good dude. Carl's like, my wife's a millionaire. What the fuck do I care what she does?
Right. Sure. Let her go.
Living his best life too. Don't worry about Carl.
What about Steve Irwin? Does he get there? I think he might. I think
he might.
He did like animal savior in a non-exploitive way. Like, so a lot of people that have been like, I have this zoo and I'm saving animals, they exploit those animals. I don't feel like Steve Irwin ever did that.
Well, the cool thing is his kids are the exact same way.
Right.
His kids now, like they are very much like he was, and they're not pretentious or jackasses growing up with that kind of
fame.
Fame.
No, so I feel like he always did it like with conservation in mind and not like money in mind. Like I feel like he did everything the right way. And like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like maybe he was a piece of shit, but like I never got that. Like he never was in it to make money. He was like in it to be like, hey, these are these really cool animals, and this is how we save them, and this is how we interact with them to make them comfortable. Like I feel like he did everything the right way.
Seemed to be a good guy. Yeah.
Not like Tiger King or Carol Baskin or any of
right.
people.
No, he wasn't like fucking Joe or Carol. Like
no,
that was rough.
Here's one that I think is picking up steam right now. Like we talked about Bob Ross. Bob Ross more popular now than he was. I feel like this person is getting more and more popular, and I hear my kid talking about it. My kid's 24 years old. Doesn't remember a time when this individual was alive. John Denver. I mean, not Bob Denver. John Denver.
Oh, Country Roads, Take Me Home.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you hear a lot of his music being used now and stuff like that.
So he got like made fun of at an awards show. Like his first award show, he got like made fun of where they like the presenter thought his song was shit, but he still won, and it was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did not have a good time coming up, but yeah. John Denver, sure.
Yeah.
But he did. But Katie would say he didn't win Pilot of the Year.
No. No. Yeah, Katie, never get so bold that you start building your own airplanes and shit. Being like, I'm so bored with flying shit other people did. I'm going to start building my own. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Technically, I fly an experimental airplane that was built, and I was involed with that. So
Yeah,
already
that.
there.
Stop that.
So Steve, we should start an ABV poll. In what's the date that she crashes that plane?
Yeah, when we're gonna lose Katie. Don't
No.
That's scary. I don't like that. Yeah, I mean, John Denver was a good pilot, and doing that. I mean, if you're from St. Louis, and Jim, you'll remember this guy, Alan Barkledge. I knew Alan Barkledge because my parents had a place in High Ridge that lived next to his parents, so we knew Alan Barkledge a little bit. He was a famous helicopter pilot, did the traffic reports and stuff like that. But he was also flying an experimental helicopter. And unfortunately deceased. He was a Vietnam pilot. I mean, he was a well-known guy from St. Louis, if you're from this area at one point. But that stuff it scares me. I don't know. I'm scared of flying anyway. And then something like that just makes it worse.
That's why we train for emergencies. I practice engine out landings routinely. That's when I fly. I'm constantly looking for like, if the engine goes out right now, where am I landing? That's part of our pilot training.
Mm-hmm.
And also I have autopilot. So a lot of times I just take off and hit a little button and it flies for me until it's ready for me to land.
That's why I think it's fine if we wanted to do a trip to Texas and you fly us from place to
I'm
place.
like, come on, FAA. All I have to do is take off and land. The plane will do the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like I just have to put in my flight plan ahead of time.
With what you've got right now, where can you fly to, Katie? How far can you fly?
So I can fly about 4 hours on one tank of fuel,
Okay.
which my airplane goes about 120 miles an hour.
Okay, so
not
about 500 miles. So
yeah,
you could do
not
a little-
that far in my current plane. The next plane I'm looking at, I would be able to easily like fly to Nashville for dinner, and it's not a big deal, that kind of a thing. So, like I could go to Kansas City, stuff like that from St. Louis, but my current range is not that far in my plane, and it's only a 2-seater, and so I could have one passenger with me.
Right.
So that's my next plane, though, would be a 4-seater.
Are you flying anywhere? I mean, I get just going up in the air and just flying, just like a Sunday drive type of thing. You're not really necessarily going anywhere. Is it more doing that type of thing? Or do you fly places to go to dinner and stuff like that?
I mostly just fly around. Like I just fly and people ask like, oh, where'd you fly to? And I'm like, I flew around in circles over the airport. That I just get up for the enjoyment of being up in the air. I do fly to like breakfast or lunch quite a bit. So I'll fly like so I'll go from like St. Charles up to like Hannibal, Missouri, or so I'll fly what would be a few hour drive away or like an hour drive away, maybe 2, that I'll fly for breakfast or lunch and fly back because it's a short little flight for me. But being in small airplanes, it's really weather dependent. So it's not very often that I'll fly overnight somewhere. Most of it's just I go out for like kind of a day trip and come back. Especially if it's like going to be nice weather at sunset, or like this weekend, I'm going to fly Sunday morning, that I'll go fly around and either go fly somewhere for breakfast and come out. So I fly for food mostly. It's my motivation.
So are you ever interested in like charters or commercial or just for fun?
So if I'll keep getting ratings as I can afford the airplanes. And so like eventually, I'll get my tailwheel endorsement and I might get my seaplane endorsement as I can afford more airplanes. But I will probably never do commercial. I'll just do it of flying like with friends. I'll probably get bigger airplanes so I can fly more people. But right now as a private pilot, you can do what's called the pro rata share. So I could charge people, like, let's say there's 4 people on the plane. I could charge them their 3/4 of the cost of flying. And I just pay for my quarter, which makes it then that it would be super affordable that I could fly people and friends just for fun. And once you get enough hours, you can do like charity flights and sell flights for, I could do it for like auction raffles and things like that. Once I get enough hours.
How long till you're like John Travolta and you can just get a house that's kind of in the middle of nowhere and your driveway's a landing strip where you.
Oh my gosh, I know. I fly over all the time. The house for one of the Bush family from Anheuser-Busch that they have a airstrip by their house in Missouri here. And I'm like, oh, goals. Like that's so awesome.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. What else? Any other celebrity saints?
Keanu Reeves, I feel like I've heard some good things about him, especially recently.
There was some kind of like he just rides the subway people.
Yeah. And like there was some kind of like airplane emergency landing that he was on recently and they had to take a shuttle or a bus or something from it. And like he just started like reading something to people. I don't know if it was like poetry or something, but like totally just like there for the people is like his like summary of life that I've seen.
So time effective because it's been 20 years, which is fucking mind blowing. But Steve Buscemi, which you don't think because he's like that crazy eyed guy, like who plays weird roles, was actually a firefighter in 9/11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi, absolute fucking saint of a person. He was there during 9/11, which I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't know about because it was like 20 years ago, but I literally watched that.
Is his career not longer than 20 years?
No, so like he was a firefighter, then got into acting, played some weird ass roles, but like, dude, like saved some people.
There's an article the other day about his PTSD still from having it from being on site, and he's a good guy.
He is a good guy.
I saw a video the other day of The Rock.
Yes,
and he's driving around in Hollywood, and there's this Hollywood tour going on in one of those open air buses, and he just rolls down his window and he's like, "Hey, anybody seen The Rock lately?" At a stoplight, he has a conversation with this whole tour bus for 40 seconds while the lights red, and they're all like, he's taking a picture, whatever. It's like, "Hey, you guys have a great day," whatever. Like, just couldn't be more personable for these group that's
Right.
just driving around.
Yeah, I feel like he's a pretty solid, genuine celebrity as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because I feel like celebrity is not easy. You know, we can make fun of it because they make a lot of money, and you think, well, fuck 'em, what they got a couple people want to that talk to them. But I do think that it can do one of two things. Being super famous like The Rock can either wear you down, where you can't even stand people approaching you, or you can just embrace it, have fun with it. I feel like he does that. He has a little fun with it. So
He
cool.
does.
Yeah. Anyone else?
In any celebrity contest, I'm always going to pick Justin Timberlake for my pure love for him.
Yeah, he's
I
perfectly
will take
normal.
any
He's
opportunity.
perfectly normal. Yeah.
I will. Yes, I will take.
I'll
any
tell you who I
opportunity.
take is Brooks and Dunn. Brooks and Dunn to me is
No, they are.
the top of the heap.
Fucking are.
Steve, you have to choose one. You
Hey.
take Brooks or Dunn.
Hey, McNew.
Kix
So how much?
actually became a radio DJ. I feel like he does a lot of charities. Kix Brooks, stand-up guy. Ronnie Dunn kind of sucks.
So wait,
No.
how much would you pay for my signed guitar from Brooks and Dunn from your first concert?
Yeah, I'm not paying anything for it. You can ask Steve.
Yeah, Brooks and Dunn. Huh.
I wouldn't either. My dad gave it to me for Christmas.
Really? It's fascinating. Well, all right. Well, there you go. It's Halloween. I mean, what are you doing at your job if you had to work? It's Sunday this year, so most people don't have to work. But if you are, you're not going to do anything. We're just doing what you're doing. We're screwing around. We're messing around. We're talking, and that's just what happens.
I'd like
We
to
take a
know.
break. Go ahead, Katie.
No, the break sounds great right now. If that's
No, go ahead.
Oh, we're wrapping up. It's a beyond break. If you
Okay.
keep me going, the show's over.
I was
No
We're not
pressure.
taking a
gonna
break.
ask-
We're past that.
everyone's take on the trunk or treats. So I feel like it's taken away from kids going door to door.
Yes.
And so have you all
I
seen
think
the
they're
same?
fucking stupid. I don't understand the point.
I think it's
I
dumb,
feel
too.
like it's just an extra thing that
Yeah,
like,
like,
added on to
what
Halloween.
is
I
this?
don't, I don't
It's
think
added
it.
Point.
In
And,
my
like,
opinion, if it takes the place of trick or treating, then you're doing something
Then
wrong.
it's
raising
lame.
your kid.
yeah.
That's
You
lame.
gotta.
And like, so I feel like a lot of churches do those, and like I'm not going to
They
get
do.
into that, but I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
don't
Churches
even
are
an
schools.
extra
Churches
thing.
are schools.
bother. Like that's.
It's just like going to a Halloween party. You know,
Right.
it's just like I'm gonna go to a trunk or treat today.
No, I
You
don't
know?
get it. Like you're
But
so
not in place. I agree. You got to go door to door. You got to knock on the doors. You got to talk to people.
Yes.
I think that's part of the Halloween experience.
And I don't know about you guys, and I hope all the adults out there are the same way, but I and my husband will make the child say trick or treat when they come to my door.
No,
was-
no,
Not
If you
about
come
that
to my
way.
house,
We're from St. Louis. It's different for us. In St. Louis, you have to tell a joke. You have to
Right,
tell a
they
joke.
have to tell
Yep.
jokes. The kids have to
I
tell
don't care
jokes.
if you're a child. I don't care if you're 40.
That's
if
a
you
St.
come to
Louis
my
thing.
house, have some candy. I don't care.
Wait, I have to hear about the St. Louis joke thing, but also, yes.
No, yeah, you
say
have
trick or
to
treat
have
at my
like your
house.
joke ready in order
the
to
kids
get the
have to tell a
treat. That's the
joke.
trick part.
All kids have a joke on Halloween, and the funny thing is, the older ones you don't care. When the older kids come and they're mailing it and they're wearing like you said,
You're
a
just happy
sports
that they're
costume.
there getting
Right,
candy
right.
from you instead
But
of doing drugs or
Every kid, unless they're like an infant and the mom's carrying the kid, you ask them to tell a
Right.
joke. If you're from St. Louis, that's a St. Louis. I thought that was just normal. Whatever they did at Halloween.
Yeah,
Then you
I
go
thought
to
it
other
was
places.
normal too. I didn't realize it was a St. Louis thing until
Right,
you
then you go to other
mentioned
places
it.
and they're
We
like,
don't do
"What?"
that. Anna, no.
No,
No,
so the kid
never
has to tell a
once.
joke, and the best one is like the little ones, like 4 years old. And they're like, "Knock knock, who's there? Son who? It's sunny today." They're writing their own material. It's the best. It makes no sense. It doesn't follow the format. I love when little kids are.
I like that.
No, like, you literally come say trick or treat. It doesn't mean anything because like we're just still giving them candy. Like
Right, they still get the candy, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's an effort there.
You got to earn it. You have
You
to
gotta
tell
earn
the
it.
joke
Earn
to
it, yeah.
earn
Those
it.
kids that just come up and they just hold their pillowcase open or whatever and like expect candy. I'm like, hold on a second, kid. Like you
No,
got to go through the same shit that I
I'm
did.
like,
I don't want any of
I
this
spent
stuff.
however much money on candy. You came to my house, fucking have some candy. I don't even care.
No.
They
I'm
hide
for
it,
the
you.
guy.
I'm all about the outfit. I'm like throwing the kid compliments when they come up. Like I want them to have a good time coming to my
I'm
house.
actually excited this year because we have like some cool new neighbors, and she's like, "What do you guys do for Halloween?" And like she has 3 kids, and I'm just like, well, he usually takes his kid trick-or-treating, but I stay here to hand out candy and I just get lit in the garage. And she's like, well, I'm hang out with you.
As always.
My husband trick-or-treating. And I'm like, yeah, this is the way. Come hang out with me, babe. Like,
so do you guys pass out alcohol for adults in your neighborhood?
I want to, but like our neighborhood's weird. Like, so we have some cool people in our neighborhood, but we have like some fucking Karens. And I'm like, I want to hand out alcohol, but like I don't want to like end up on the neighborhood pages about like this house is giving out alcohol.
No, like
Okay, last year
my neighbor and I
handed
light a bonfire. We have a cooler full of beer and we have a spiked.
That's what I want to do, but
Yeah.
it's
We have spiked hot chocolate and hand it out.
I handed out Jell-O shots made with Casey Jones Distillery moonshine
Love it.
last year.
That's awesome.
And I was wearing a Casey Jones tie-dye shirt. You know, I was a hippie, so I was like, I was living it. I was just like, come to Casey Jones.
I love that. That's what I want to do. Would be like here's some mini bottles, mom or dad have a shot. But like this neighborhood is so mixed with like people that are very conservative and like people that are cool. And I'm like,
Oh, I live in a county that it just became a wet county. Like I moved here a year ago and it happened like 3 months before I moved here. So I served alcohol downtown on July 4th for Casey Jones Distillery. And it was the first time since like the 1930s or something that alcohol had been served in the Elkton town square. So like it was a huge deal for me to be out on the front porch handing out Jell-O shots last year Halloween.
Get like some mini bottles for like mom and dads because like I've wanted to do that because I'm just like clearly you can tell I'm lit as fuck in my garage giving your kids candy. You might as well be too because nobody wants to take them trick or treating. It's not a fun time, so might do it.
Well, there you go. That to us, this is Halloween right there. So yeah, there you go. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Cailee, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Cailee O. Baker.
All right, Katie.
You can find me also over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
All right, Jim.
Find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnat or on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJAM.
McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV, and I also host Bottle Kills and Last Meals on the ABV Network channel.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got that company website, abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows. We've got our blogs. We've got Bourbon Zeppelin, our e-magazine, so much more, abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right, great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Bye!
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.